So yun pong tatlong bombilya tsaka isang electric fan. Admittedly, hindi po ito yung minimum na comfort na kailangan po ng isang average na pamilya. Tama po.
Well, admittedly, Your Honor, very basic po yung pong mga appliances.
Kaya nga, kung
Your
halimbawa
Honor.
lightings lang at saka isang electric fan o kaya isang radyo, halimbawa. So yun pong minimum na comfort na kailangan kahit na isang mahirap na pamilya, hindi pa rin po sapat yun eh. Maaaring makapag-charge siya ng telepono. We're talking here of a 1-month consumption of electricity. Can you imagine a 20 consumption? Siguro isang bombilya lang po nakasindi. Buong ano yun eh, buong 30 days. Ano po ang kalidad ng buhay ng isang mahirap? Mahirap na nga siya. Yung comfort na dapat namang maranasan niya. Hindi naman yung komportable. Kaya ako po tinatanong, ano ba yung reasonable na magagamit niya? Itong 200 po, alam po ninyo, kung tutuusin lang, relative din po ito eh. Maring hindi pa sasapat na sa lahat ng pangangailangan niya. Pero this might cover the minimum comfort na kailangan po ng isang pamilya. And I believe, dito po sa range na ito, yung 200, we are targeting about 5.5 million poor families. And in terms of number, that will range between 25 to 27 million poor Filipinos. Napakaliit po kaya po kanina pinipilit ko, Madam Chair, yung median na, for example, na 2,500 na directly pong mapupunta sa kanila. It directly reduce their cost of living. 2,000, let's say 2,000 to 2,500. It is not much. This is relative. Ngunit ang nabebenefit po noon ay targeted sector of our economy. Hindi po kagaya ng nangyari, AIX, TUPAD, AKAP, kung ano't ano pa. Sabi po ng SWS, Madam Chair, after 3 years, nag-census ang SWS and Pulse Asia, 52% of our people still consider themselves poor. 25 to 27% of our people, after all the intervention of all these subsidies, they experience involuntary hunger. Gusto po nilang kumain, pero hindi sila makakain. What happened to all these ayudas na pinadala natin in the last 2 years? Ang dami po nun eh. Kasi po napopoliticize. Sabi po ng COA, talaga pong karaniwan, hindi po talaga tumutuloy doon sa talagang tinatarget nating sektor ng ating population. Kaya naisip ko po na para sa ganun ay madiretso natin, matukoy natin, direkta pong dumadaloy sa kanila at wala po sigurong corruption ito dahil direkta po sa kanila. Wala na pong politiko na nagagamit dito. At makakatipid pa po tayo. Can you imagine the ayudas na 250 billion pesos per annum? Pagkatapos after surveys, sasabihin, 57% of our people feel that they are still poor. Very involuntary hunger. 44% ay nandun pa rin sa yung ang klase economy yun. Hindi natin natutukoy lahat ang pinupuntahan ng ating subsidy. Kaya po naisip ko, it might be a good substitute. Hindi siya ayuda, but kumbaga i-reallocate po natin. We're trying to differentiate the mechanism now. Pero pupunta po talaga sa targeted. Yung 50 po kilowatt hours, palagay ko po ay hindi niya ma-appreciate. Mahirap siya talaga, ngunit wala pong kapupuntahan sa kanya yon. Pero yung 200 kilowatt hours, kinwenta po naming mabuti. It would benefit at least 5.5 million poor families. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. Before I give the floor back to ERC, may I know if in your presentation now, you're presenting any other figures beyond the example of the appliances? Because if not, I'll be the one to ask you what I want to hear, and then you can either give me an answer, or if you need to research, you can get back to me. So if it's in your presentation, then you can continue. If not, I'll specifically ask you what I need to hear.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Wala na po, yun na po yung, well, the basis, Your Honor, because we've just adopted, Your Honor, the 50 kilowatt hours. In fact, it was just published last Friday, yung pong ERC resolution setting that lifeline threshold, Madam Chair.
So I will elaborate, no? I understand based on what you said that your 50 kilowatt threshold would cover 3 light bulbs, 1 electric fan, 1 TV, and a cell phone charger. I would add my observation that in this day and age, kasama yung cellphone charger. Maybe if you had this discussion more than 10 years ago, wala nang ganon. Pero wala pang ganon. Ngayon, kasama na yan. This is what I need you to include in your calculation of what is the minimum threshold needed by a poor family. When we say poor family, I let you make that distinction on what is considered a poor family. But if we're also trying to alleviate this family out of poverty, and I've had multiple discussions with DSWD as I handle the budget of DSWD, then that is really the goal of all this ayuda, of all these AICs, of the livelihood intervention. The goal is to not just to help them survive and be alive the next day. The goal is to get them out of poverty. The goal is to help them be productive in their work life, for at least the parents, the breadwinners in that family, so that they can provide for a safe and healthy environment for their family. So what are those requirements now? And I will give you a few based on my own understanding as a mother, and that is very important because yung mga nanay ang hindi lang ilaw ng tahanan, literally speaking. Pag hindi gumana si nanay, walang ilaw ang tahanan, okay? So I will speak from my experience and then from some research. So Senator Marcoleta already pointed out, ano ba yung minimum ng ilaw? I guess it would also depend. If you all live in a one small room, then maybe 3 is really enough. But you could still be living in poverty and have a separate bathroom and have a separate bedroom, and baka kulang yung 3 light bulbs na yon, di ba? And then I move on. You already mentioned electric fan, TV, and cell phone charger. What about a rice cooker? Is that not so essential to the life of a Filipino family? If we lived in America, rice cooker is not essential, but we live in the Philippines. Rice cooker is essential. Now, you might argue na, kasi sa kalan naman yan nagluluto at gas stove yan. Maybe not. So, and I think a lot would buy a rice cooker, okay? Because they will use their one kalan for something else. So, I will include rice cooker. I would also include a refrigerator. Napakainit sa Pilipinas. And Senator Lauren will tell you na kahit i-refrigerate mo yung pagkain, Pia, wag mong kakainin yan ng after 1 day. Kahit ang refrigerator, maraming bacteria. Pero we already know that it's the cooling effect that would keep food safer for longer. So, ang hirap din naman ng buhay na walang refrigerator. Ano ba yon? Kasosyalan na ba yon na mag-refrigerator? Hindi naman siguro, no? We can assume that is a necessity, right? So, refrigerator, di ba? And then, paano sila nag-iinit ng pagkain? And this is where me as a mother will speak up. In many households all over the world, women contribute to the income of the family, but they are primarily the homemakers. So which means magluluto, maglalaba, mag-aalaga ng bata, tuturo ng homework, tapos on top of that, meron pa siyang negosyo sa labas ng bahay. So when you make the life of a woman easier, and that is where all these household technologies came up, that allows the woman to be more productive in the workforce. So you might find it luho, pero if you provide a microwave oven or ako kasi yung version ko na mas mura sa microwave, which many say is safer and much cheaper, is a toaster oven. Pwede mag-init ng kahit ano doon. Pwede ka pang magluto sa toaster oven. So, para sa akin, if you want to alleviate this family from poverty, then you have to help the mother do her household chores rapidly. The ate, the mother, sometimes it's the ate dahil yung nanay either nasa labas na, nagtatrabaho, nagbe-breastfeed, nanganganak, whatever. So, these are, if you ask women's group, we will consider these things essential. Now, I will not even include, dahil sa Philippine homes, di naman siya basic eh. Yung vacuum cleaner, wala na yan, walis ting-ting. Diba? Okay na tayo dyan, hindi na natin hinahanap yan. Pero yung refrigerator, medyo standard yan. Tapos yung something to help them with the cooking chores, especially the rice cooker. And then, I will even go further to say, and I ask all of you to bear with me in my statement now, isipin nyo yung pinaka low level na assistant nyo. Na whether siya ay assistant sa office, receptionist siya, clerk. Di ba expected natin pumasok yan na mukhang maayos? Ang sweldo siguro niyan, minimum wage lang, maayos. Paano ba mag-aayos yun? Eh di syempre maliligo, magpapatuyo ng buhok. O no, dun sa isang electric fan, habang tulog yung bata, magpapatuyo ng buhok. Alam ko yung gawain na yan dahil kulot ang buhok ko. Kaya yan diretso ngayon dahil dumaan na yan sa tinatawag na plancha. Luho na yon. Pero I have to appear presentable like any other woman is required to appear. So whether patuyo mo yung buhok mo sa electric fan, or bumili ka ng blow dryer, or may plancha, or sorry na lang, tatali mo na lang yung hair mo, which ginagawa naman din namin. Kung talagang walang time, tatali mo na lang yan. Semi-essential din po yun. So that's because we want to alleviate them out of poverty. So kailangan pumasok sila sa trabaho na expected sila na maayos ang itsura. 'Di ba? So, yun lang naman yung mga little things na gusto ko lang i-point out kasi ano ba ang essential? Yun. And for me, and I'm not going to do this because Senator Marcoleta put so much work into this, but for me, isusustepen ko pa nga yung hearing na to na hindi natin napoproduce yun. Kasi nga, kailangan naiintindihan natin what is essential. But as I said, I will not do that because nga, nag-abala naman kayong lahat pumunta dito. So I will stop right now. But normally, kung akin lang na hearing to that I don't have these two gentlemen here, I really am tempted to say, tigil muna natin to hanggat hindi natin na-define yung essentials na yan. Okay? I will give you back the floor and then as I said, we will call on DSWD after that. Oh, yes, please,
Madam
go ahead.
Chairperson, just to add, thank you for those points. Importante ho yun. Dahil yung lifeline rate is designed to help our poor constituents, parang direct subsidy to, so that it will free up their cash flow in terms of paying electricity at magamit nila yon sa ibang mga pangangailangan nila. Dahil kung matitipid nila, let's say, 200 pesos to 400 pesos, mabibili nila, magagamit nila yung 2 to 400 pesos for other purposes. Pero hindi rin intention ng Lifeline na ilibre yung kuryente. No? Only, I fully support yung statement ng ating chairperson, only those essentials. Kasi hindi ka naman mabubuhay ngayon kung wala kang rice cooker o wala kang refrigerator. Mahirap no para sa isang mahirap na pamilya na wala nitong mga basic appliances dahil mahirapan sila if they have babies, if they have children, napakahirap naman magluto kung wala silang mga appliances na ito. So it's designed to subsidize essential appliances but not designed to completely pay their electricity for free, no, or ilibre yung kanilang electricity because pag linibre naman natin magkakaroon naman ng I would say perverse incentive. No, dahil kung libre, di bili na lang sila ng bili ng equipment or parami ng parami. So, and then on the other side, pinapasa rin to sa mga non-lifeliners natin katulad natin. No? So, in other words, yung binibigay nating subsidy, tataas rin yung binabayad ng non-lifeliners na hindi naman din lahat doon ay mayayaman. Iba ay nasa tinatawag natin near poor category, iba nasa middle lower income category. So sila naman ang sasalo nitong subsidy. So we really need to strike a balance, no? That's why doon sa bill na inextend natin yung lifeline, we gave ERC that power to determine the rates. Dahil iba-ibang location, iba-iba rin yung kuryente na binabayad nila, iba-iba rin yung poverty incidences. So we gave that to ERC. But I do agree with our chairperson na it's really designed to help our poor constituents have the basic appliances in order for them to live a productive life. No? Hindi siya designed to pay for everything. No? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.